trying to say 3-1, and we're back. Well, are we going hot right now? We ready to rock?
That's week 12.
Week 12, legal formation. We're back, and all I got to say is, folks, 3-1 on the week. Cousin Garrett goes 2-2, and we're bringing you back. Legal formation, week 12, coming in hot. Your two favorite attorneys and cousins, Garrett Riley, Rob Sparks. We're picking them. What do we got, G, this week? 4?
5 games.
Oh, geez, we got the Dolphins in there sliding in at the 1 o'clock on Sunday. We're going hot with 5 this week, folks. If you don't know how it works, we take our spreads off the Hard Rock bet. Why? Again, Tampa Hard Rock. Don't want to talk about some litigation we're in. We'll keep that quiet. Don't get mad. Cousin Garrett's busting some folk up. That's all we're going to talk about. And or Miami's also got a Hard Rock. But anyway, G money. You're still going strong, brother. 24 and 22 overall. Are my numbers right? What am I, 23 and 23?
Yep, 500.
Back to 500 on the nose. But look, folks, I was in a dark, dark place for about 2 weeks. So let's take that as some positivity. So, G, because you're the winner right now, 24 and 22, that's 2 games above 500, folks. That's professional picking. Lead us off, first game of the week, Thursday night, 8:15, Steelers at Browns. Browns getting the 3.5. Can the Steelers stay hot after their big win?
Yeah, a little blue-collar matchup, Pittsburgh-Cleveland. Pittsburgh is hot, like I said. I think they've won like 5 or 6 in a row right now, including Baltimore last week.
Tough one.
But Cleveland, kind of just a bad team overall. And I think they have offensive line problems, which is not good to have going into a week where you're facing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh,
and so,
it.
Cleveland, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think they get rocked. I think Pittsburgh can cover the 3.5. But I do, said Jameis. I love watching Jameis. So I'm sure he'll put together some entertaining plays, whether they're good or bad. So they're often funny. But yeah, I'm going with Pittsburgh in this game.
On the road, tough to walk out of there with a win. Coming off of a big time victory, kind of sloppy. But every time I count the Steelers out, suck me back in a little bit on this, dude. They get W's. They're walking out of W's. I mean, whose game is more important right here? Steelers know that they got some wind in their sails going to the playoffs. If they can string a couple going into the Turkey Day, I mean, dude, they got a shot to really play for a strong seed in the playoffs here. So this is what kind of, I don't want it to be a letdown game, even though that battle that they had last week was the oddest damn thing with the interception in the end zone. I didn't really like the strong quarterback play, missing field goals. Lamar with the crazy 2-point rolls to his left. Did the Ravens beat themselves? Was the Steelers there to play? Is there a letdown? Bottom line, folks, when G-Money is plus 2 games, you got to back the kid if you're indecisive. So I'm going Steelers on the road. My boy Ronnie will be excited about that. Even them giving up 3.5 could be a squeaker, but I'm going to take them at home. I think for the sole purpose that it's an important game for the Steelers, and the Browns have got to get up to try to win that one.
Yeah, divisional game, and Pittsburgh got to try to keep putting some distance between them and Baltimore to win that division.
Have to. So, right now, Tomlin's telling them, hey, boys, big win last week, but it means nothing if you go in there and lay an egg to Cleveland. I think Tomlin has them ready to go. I'm going with Cousin Garrett. I'm going Steelers, giving up the 3.5.
So that's Thursday night, and then we always pick the Bucs in the Dolphins game. So it looks like Tampa Bay is traveling to the Big Apple.
Big Apple.
They got to go against the New York Giants. Tampa favored by 5 on the road against the Giants.
Giants getting 5. Bucs coming off the bye week. Are we healthy? We're going to go up to my boys Luke Point. They're probably playing the cold. I don't know if we're going to have any flurries, but it's going to be not an environment that we like. Mm-hmm. But I think we walk out of there even with the 5 on 2 things. One, I think our running game is starting to hit its stride. If we're healthy and we can complement the running game with the wide receivers getting healthy, I don't, obviously Godwin won't be back. I don't see Evans being back. And if he is in an environment like that, they're going to only play him, I think, in a limited portion. If the offensive line can hang in there, if Baker's healthy, picks his points, we run that rock, I think the Giants a little bit demoralized. I think we can go in there. Again, if you look at the Bucs' string of losses, 3 points or less, I know it's in enemy territory in the Big Apple, but I think the Bucs do enough. I'm going to make a prediction here, folks. It's not going to be pretty. It'll be a pretty game. The Bucks are walking out of there with the W.
Love your point about the Bucks running backs. I mean, those guys are unbelievable. Irving and Johnson, right? The other guy.
No.
Yeah, they're sick. But any thoughts about the Giants? They've benched their $160 million quarterback, Daniel Jones. They're putting in DeVito, who had his moment last year. He had a couple games where he caught a spark.
Yeah. All hype.
You're not thinking they can recreate that spark with
Bring the
DeVito.
Italians out. Let them all wear the gear like they did before. Yeah. Bring out the cannolis. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's not going to be enough. I mean, Baker's going to bake. This kid's going to have to match his intensity. So I think they could bring out freaking Tony Soprano, and it's not going to be enough.
I'm with you. I think the Giants are just in rough shape. I think the quarterback change is not going to do much. I think the Bucs are just a more complete team. And I think they can get it done, win by a touchdown, and that covers it. So there you go.
Look for the Bucs screen routes all day long. Look for that little dump.
They're really using the running backs as receivers, getting them a nice head start.
The running back I'm forgetting from the Bucs. God, Luke, help me, dude. What's the stud? Anyway, folks, that's a blooper reel there. I can't believe I lost my boy's name in my mind. But anyway, that trifecta that they keep running with Irving, who has that little spark, those little dump routes on the inside, man, I just don't think the Giants match that. And I think if we can get them off the field early and bust up the Italian stallion behind the center, no, they don't got it.
You're not thinking of White or Tucker?
White. Let's go. That's why
I said Johnson. It's White.
That's why we bring Luke to these things. This is why in Luke we trust, folks. By Luke, that boy, Luke. Way to step up, buddy. All right, G-Money. Wow, a little back-to-back 1 o'clock games on Sunday, huh? We got Finns at home giving 7 to the Patriots. This used to be a big-time primetime game back when Brady would come into town. Originally at the 305, right up the road from the old Joe Robbie Stadium. How do we like this?
They were never scared of Tom Brady. I know he probably beat the Dolphins in Miami, but there were some rough games that he had down there.
Yeah. Unless when he had Moss and he was just...
But we go from 2 cold weather games to, I don't think it's going to be cold in Miami this weekend.
80s.
So the last few games, it looks like the Dolphins are getting right. The offense is looking better and better kind of each week. They're more accurate. They're getting their plays in. The defense is playing better. Also, Zach Sealer on the defensive line is just incredible. So,
Swagger. I see some swagger coming back from the Dolphins.
Yeah, I was going to say, this could be a chance where they can really open it up and say, hey, well, listen, we're back. We're getting right.
I like it.
We can win by 10 or more. So, the 7 points, touchdown, I think the Dolphins are going to look at this and say, we're getting right. This is going to show that we're getting right, and let's get some momentum going to the second half of the season. So I like Miami big in this game.
I got to be honest, man. I think it's the pregame warm-up. I saw them with a little bit of swagger, that old Miami Hurricane type coming out there. I think they're getting better. I think Tua's almost fully healthy. If they've got the cheetah getting over the wrist injury, I think watch out. He could have a big day. I don't think the Patriots have done anything offensively all year. The only way the Patriots walk out of there with a W is if they can just box them in, make it like a freaking 6-3, 10-7 game. I don't see it happening. 7's a big number, but I think the Dolphins at home cover the spread. I think the Dolphins are playing with swagger. I think the record is not reflective of how good they are. I don't think they like the old Bills getting all the attention. I think they're going to try to make a little late run toward that wild card spot. Luker, I'm taking Finns at the old Joe Robbie Stadium. Don't get it twisted, folks. It'll always be Joe Robbie to me.
All right. So we move into the Sunday night and Monday night. Are both out in Hollyweird. Both games are in LA.
Hate this game.
So Sunday night, we got the Eagles going to the Rams. The Eagles are favored by 2.5. What are you thinking, Rob, on this one?
I hate it. Tough pick. 2.5.
It is. It's hard. Both these teams are very solid. They play pretty good ball for the most part.
So the Rams they're giving up. Philly's getting up 2.5. Giving the Rams 2.5 at home. That right there should scare anybody. But at the end of the day, Philly's like 7-2, 8-2, whatever their number is. And it's a tough game to watch. First half is always just a debacle. Everybody jumps on the Philly, just fire everybody. These guys suck.
We're never going to cover.
We're never. And then you look down and you say, but the little box on the screen with the record says 7-2. So they can't be that bad. But ultimately, Saquon wears them out. Second half, I think they do a better job in Philly of getting Saquon the ball than they do in Baltimore giving Henry the ball. In my opinion, Baltimore's going the wrong direction because they're not handing the rock enough. I think Jalen Hurts is a good command of the offense. I think he understands it. It's got to go through Saquon. Saquon. I think you go on the road. I think you run right at the Rams. Don't get me wrong, 2.5. Stafford can spin it. Wide receivers can get healthy. A little letdown last week. Didn't like what I saw. I'm going Philly on the road as an upset because in the NFC, I think Philly understands they are playing for their playoff berth. I think they are trying to get that second seed behind Detroit, and I think it matters to them. I don't see letdown. I think Rams, if this was 2 weeks ago, would have changed my opinion because the Rams started getting hot. I saw them having that little McVay, let me get in the playoff and upset some folks. I think Philly might put a dagger through the Rams in terms of playoff hope. Come Sunday, 8:20.
Yeah, the Rams are sneaky good, and they always show up, I think, in primetime games and against better teams. They play pretty well. So I could see this being a field goal game either way. But if that's the case, Philly, top 10 offense, top 10 defense. I'll take my chances with Philly on a field goal game at the least. So I'm going with the Eagles as well.
I like it. Look, watch out, folks. This the Cousins going 4 for 4 on the picks this week. But good. Now's where I'm scared.
That's a great matchup. And we have another great matchup on Monday night.
Dirty.
I guess we could call this the Har Bowl.
Oh, look what we did here. The two brothers, head coaches, playing against each other. How do you like that?
The Harbaugh brothers.
On this one, you cue up both faces just in case you want to know. You take both brothers to head coaches because I know you're probably over there looking at soccer or some shit.
Be careful. There's a lot of Harbaughs out there, so make sure you get the right guys.
Yeah,
John.
Yeah, don't do it to us again, Luke.
Well,
who do you like here, Jim?
Yeah,
because basically, what I'm looking at is Baltimore
favored by 3,
giving up the 3, right? Favored, right? Mm-hmm. So that means Chargers at home are getting a field goal to start the game.
Mm-hmm.
Strong enough for Baltimore to run them down after that just debacle against Pittsburgh, or no? Do we like Chargers? What they did with Jesus, who did they play at the end where they hit the Bengals, yeah, where they just broke my heart from going 4 for 4 because Burrow can't kick a freaking field goal to win it. Mixed emotions. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers almost chargered that game against the Bengals. And I think Baltimore is just here in a bounce-back spot. I mean, they played bad against Pittsburgh. Things didn't go their way. I think they're too good to come out and have another bad game. So I just think that they're going to get up for that, to back their coach against his brother. I just think you're going to see a turnaround game for Baltimore. Maybe they fire better on all cylinders. And, the Chargers are good. Their offense is good. Dobbins is running the ball like crazy. Herbert, we know his ability out there as a quarterback. The other their Harbaugh is a good coach as well. But, yeah, I mean, I'll take Baltimore -3. I think I like them in a bounce-back spot here.
Folks, what I've got written right here, must win. And I mean Baltimore. And that's because they're letting it slip. Too much wind in the sails by the competition. I think they've reflected this week and said, hey, look, we get beat here and we got trouble. Are we the wild card team all of a sudden trying to get in the playoffs after the start we've had? The other thing is if you look at the stats, Henry only got the ball like 10 times, maybe 11. They got to fix that. The guy's a beast. Level out the offense. Let this guy run somebody over. Herbert can flat out just absolutely spin that thing. Guy's got a monster for an arm. But when it counted most, last game, Luke, if you take a peek, want to rewind the tape, couple 3 and outs, man, where if the other team just doesn't lay an egg, the Bengals, and give them the ball back, they get beat. I think Baltimore, because it's Monday night, it's easy to go, across the country and have a letdown on a Sunday at 1 o'clock. Travel sucks. But when it's the Monday nighter at 8:15, I think the Baltimore's up for it. I think they respect, like you said, hey, we got to show coach who's the strongest bull of the brothers right now. They're too talented, and mark it down, Luker, must win. If they don't, you could see a big collapse of this, and I think they're going to get crucified in the press of, hey, Lamar was on his word of the 3-time MVP, and, Henry was just running everybody over to not even making the playoffs. So I think I'm with you. They rectify it. I'm backing the cousin at Baltimore on the road, which is a big deal, Luke. Not easy to go across the country.
Wow, so all our picks are in alignment this week.
Got to do it. Got to be a lot of text messaging between. Got to have some positivity. So let's reflect, G. Go down the list for me.
We got Pittsburgh, -3.5 against Cleveland.
Check.
We're both on Tampa, -5 at the Giants. We're both on Miami to cover the 7 against New England. We're both on Philly to cover the 2.5.
That's the scary
against
one.
the Rams, and we're both on Baltimore to have the bounce back game, and maybe Justin Tucker can go back to being the greatest field goal kicker in NFL history and make some kicks again. So
Boom, folks. Here's the bottom line. This is what you want to look for. If Rob and Garrett are 3-0 heading into that Sunday night, tighten the buckle loop, tighten that belt a little bit, because we got a shot to go 5-0. We get the upset with Philly, 2 teams on the road. So the thing is, Luke, that you got to pay attention. If we come out of the gate 3-0, we're taking the visitors on the last 2 games. Could be running the table 5-0. Let's go. One way or the other. That's a legal formation, folks. That's week 12. It's time to get dialed in.
high hopes on the 5-0.
Could be huge. Could be huge, Luke. We got to get on a heater. We got to get on a
Let's
heater.
do a 5-game parlay.
Let's go, Luker. Luke, can you handle the pressure?
Tightening.
And what you need to let everybody know is stay tuned for that Thanksgiving, folks. It's going to be like the Super Bowl around here. That's the one. Let's go. The Daytona 500, the big one.
Turkey Bowl.
Turkey Bowl.
Luke, let's wait till you see what you have the fans in store for the Thanksgiving picks, man. It's going to be like something the internet's never seen. Let's just be honest.
Salmon, sushi. It's going to be amazing.
This is what happens.
Luke, you're the turkey of the week right now.
You are just a vibe killer, bro. It's tough enough to litigate all day long.
Dude, it's Florida. We
Pour
have
my
amazing
heart
seafood.
out into this place, and then I come here and get hit with this. It's like swimming upstream, Luker.
Next thing, he's going to want a vegan Thanksgiving.
Jeez, Luke.